Hello, everyone. It's great to welcome you to our data management global delivery session. Both Nick and I are coming from a city called Varna, a city situated on the Black Sea coast. And we have never considered ourselves being offshore, but rather being onshore or near shore. Due to the COVID pandemic, this traditional separation of service engagements actually become more and more blurred and even outdated. We at Adastra have over 15 years of experience delivering globally data management solutions and services to our customers. Our base shoring model provides an extremely flexible approach tailored to the needs of data governance, AI, cloud, and digital. Over the last year, and especially during the past year, we have witnessed certain changes to the global delivery models and strategies that we would like to share with you today. It should come as no surprise that the importance of the remote teams has increased tremendously over the past year. Even our most information security stringent customers allowed for remote work. The typical concerns regarding productivity, regarding information security, haven't materialized due to successfully handling them through processes in place, through the right infrastructure and sufficient communication. A very important observation here is that more and more high complex and high-end roles were transferred to the remote teams, which required more technical leadership, more business leadership, and more project management leadership. With the COVID, all of our clients had also to speed up their digital programs, and some of them even by years. This also resulted in increased needs of top-notch expertise and talent. And we see right now actually a gap broadening in terms of the available skills on the labor market and actually the growing demand and the growing needs of our customers. And this trend possibly will continue also short to midterm. Going digital, going into the cloud also poses additional challenges in terms of information security and cybersecurity. One of the former FBI directors, Robert Mueller, said once that he basically distinguishes between two types of companies: the one who have been hacked and the one who will be. I wouldn't go into that extreme, but for any organization of any size, should be important really to mitigate potentially such risks and challenges. And they should pay a closer attention really to basically their internal cybersecurity, information security policies. We're also exposed year over year with new regulations, some tailored to specific business domains, some across them. Just to name a few, a very good example, GDPR for EU over the past years, but new regulations also coming in the digital space, for example, the Digital Services Act and the Digital Markets Act, and many more. Those regulations call for close cooperation between the customers and the service providers. The service provider should help their customers successfully implement the new regulations and meet the compliance and the reporting requirements. Also, the service provider should be flexible enough to adapt to the new standards quickly. Probably the most important goal for the traditional outsourcing of services and solutions has been and is still actually the cost optimization. What we are observing over the past years, and especially recently, is that more and more customers are putting more and more value to the outsourcing engagements, and they're focusing on the results and willing to pay for results rather than for sheer programming hours. This also means increased focus on successful project delivery, always delivering business value, always delivering high quality services and solutions on time, within budget, and with less project management overhead. This also results actually in lower cost of ownership. Organizations need to adopt an agile global delivery model that can bridge the talent gap, foster innovation through technology, and ultimately lower the total cost of ownership. So what kind of features should such model cover? Or what are the main attributes of such model the customer should be looking for? One and probably the most important thing that they should be looking for is the customer centricity and flexibility. It means that the service providers should be able to clearly understand their customers' needs and be able to quickly react to them, quickly ramp down their teams within the shortest time frame and deliver faster. They should be delivering results rather than just input or programming hours. They should be able to collaborate more closely and efficiently with their customers. Even more important nowadays when everyone works remotely. They should be educating and upskilling their workforce. They should be keeping up with innovations. Their IT consultant specialists should be eager to put the new technologies into a good use. And what's more and more important, working remotely, the service provider should be able really to take over high-end roles, high complexity roles through technical and business leadership. Very important for such a global delivery model is also the continuous delivery. We're witnessing increase in the requirements of 24/7 operations, usage of CI/CD frameworks, and also automating processes, for example, through RPA. A continuous delivery allows for a high quality and faster delivery. It also allows for reducing the OpEx through automation, hopefully powered by artificial intelligence. It's really important also not to underestimate the importance of the delivery locations. An optimal delivery location should provide sufficient time overlap between the teams, the remote teams and the on-site teams, which guarantees higher productivity, less project management overhead, and better results. An optimal delivery location also provides access to high level of technical education through proven universities, through large number of IT and engineering grads. They also provide access to high-end technical expertise and leadership. And also, basically, they guarantee a stable business environment, lowering any operational and delivery risks. As the customer expectations evolve over time, and actually they have evolved over the last year quite fast and and dramatically. The models should be able also to continuously evolve and improve. And there are certain ways how to guarantee that and how to guarantee a higher productivity. For example, by introducing project controls where the project managers can track certain values against certain metrics, through utilization of regular client feedback, both negative, positive, hopefully, but allowing for fine-tunement of the model, through introduction of productivity checkpoints and also benchmarking against the competition. Choosing the right global delivery model and right global delivery strategy also guarantees to a certain extent the much desired outcomes of such strategy. For example, increased business outcomes through high quality of deliverables, increased productivity, increased added value, efficient budget spent. It also leads to successful delivery of scalable data management solutions faster to market, and ultimately to lower total cost of ownership. Now I'm handing over to Nick to share with you 3 real project cases illustrating how our global delivery model works. Thank you. Nick?
Thank you very much for passing the word, Lubo. I'll be happy to share 3 use cases out of many where we actually put in practice what you just shared. It's a matter of how we have developed our services so that we can serve our clients the best. I'll move to the first user story right now. It's for a client that we are serving in Canada. It's one of the largest retailers in Canada who decided to create a cloud agnostic system featuring both GCP and Azure as ecosystems. So on our side, we are responsible for the administration of their entire systems, installation, maintenance, optimization of everything running on GCP and Azure as their clouds of choice. A big chunk of our work is actually optimization of their costs, which we have achieved on 2 main ways. One is optimizing the way queries run between on-prem and the cloud, as well as the storage or the way actual data is stored towards different cloud vendors. Another repeating item that you will hear over and over from myself, and it's emphasizing what you said as well, is the word remote. So when we say leadership, we're kind of legacy used to the idea that leadership is already only over there where business is. Now this is moving more and more towards remote work, which is global. In this particular case, we have the technical leadership entirely offshore. When we say offshore, meaning Thailand, meaning Bulgaria, meaning Canada. So we are everywhere where development lives. Another thing that is going to repeat over and over here is the CI/CD models that we implement. So this is not only project management, it's about the mindset of having a continuous delivery over the 24/7 cycle. We are delivering 24/7 services featuring our offices in Asia, Europe, and North America. And we're happy to say that we are capable to do this at very affordable price for our clients. Outcomes are following, satisfaction from our clients follow. We have significant results in this regard, featured here on the slide as well, 60 times query execution time and 300 times more faster deployments. Moving to the second story right now, it is the second use case that we have comes from Europe. Within the second use case, we have had the pleasure to cooperate with one of our largest automotive partners in Europe. Libo, you may wish to change the slides right now. And it is about creating the so-called Rpa Center of Excellence. So we already heard about our expertise in the automation anywhere development and the idea that we have behind this. But we also have the so-called Center of Excellence where we actually support our clients in order to make their decisions. We have our bot size as medium, as small, medium, and large. And then we consult our partners whether the return on investment of their automation is worth it or not. So we have a threshold of 1 year ROI, and if we exceed this, then we go ahead with the automation of their manual work. The other thing that we have done here is much of performance optimization for our clients, and also automation of the automation, or the so-called bot monitoring bots, which is a solution performed by Adastra and available for our clients on demand. Again, I will say that the remote is the key word here, where we have the remote RPA solution architect and the remote technical lead present in Europe and driving the delivery for our partners in Germany. Along with the leadership itself, we have the CI/CD implemented here in the form of a Kanban instant delivery model, where we have the opportunity to deliver a bot as soon as it is released. This way, starting the ROI right away. In terms of support, again, we emphasize on the reliability of our services, where we have the support and monitoring happening 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, including holidays, both in Europe, in our delivery center in Bulgaria, and in Germany. In total, we have more than 50 use cases resolved, more than 50 bots created, and the initial estimation is that we have more than 3,000 hours of man work saved annually, which again translates into cost savings and satisfaction for our clients. I'll now move to the third case that we have. It's for a large food producer and wholesale client that we have. They're based in Canada. For many years, they have relied on the Microsoft on-premise architecture. And last year, they decided to migrate and go on a more OpEx model featuring Microsoft Azure. So there we have architecture created already in place, featuring the Azure Data Factory, signups, and visualizing through Power BI reports. On there, again, I'm proud to say that we have the remote technical lead based in Bulgaria, and we have the remote business analyst role as well. So business analyst is another role that we normally see happening on site with our clients, but things are changing very quickly with the capabilities developed for our remote staff. So what's interesting here is the management of the program as well. It's fully agile on a 1 month sprints. And we have the scrum of scrums between our delivery centers in Thailand, in Europe, and in North America. What we are performing for this client is the pod sizing and dynamic scaling. So this means that the team size may change from a sprint to a sprint based on the actual demand happening at the time of development. So we have sized the team for roughly 6 months now, from 10 to 20 people, again, flexible to go up and down, as well as we have achieved more than 55% cost savings utilizing the OpEx model in Microsoft Azure and the offshore remote capabilities for our clients. So based on these 3 cases, we are emphasizing what we see and what we will have a chance to speak about. First is the technology advancement of our remote services, featuring both cloud migrations and cloudification overall, as well as automations of any sort, featuring data science, featuring AI, featuring RPA. Second thing is remote leadership. So no longer you need to pay the high prices of your on-site remote consultants, where you have the capabilities developed and available in remote manner. And the third one is the project methodologies that we have developed, the flexibility that you have in order to optimize your cost on a sprint per sprint basis. So based on all this, we see a very good offering in our remote delivery right now, big demand from our centers in Thailand and in Bulgaria, and we will be happy to meet your demand and your requirements as well. And thank you very much for your attention, and I'm looking forward for your questions as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. I think we can now begin our Q&A session. You already have a few questions, so let's begin with the first one. How do you achieve a lower total cost of ownership?
So
Who would like to take over this one?
Let me unmute myself. This is a great question. So there are many ways how to achieve it, and there are many factors that actually influence the total cost of ownership. Most of the clients, and this was probably a kind of, I wouldn't say a mistake, but for sure not the right approach how to estimate the total cost of ownership. I've seen still used over the years by, and especially for the time and material projects, just by calculating the hours multiplied by the consultant rate. And this is a completely wrong approach, because there are many factors really that influence the productivity and the final outcome of global delivery strategy. For example, of course, you have the hours, but you have the productivity of the consultants, the quality of deliverables. Sometimes this could, like lower quality of deliverables could result in a lot of rework that potentially could also be paid by the client, and this is far from ideal. Also, we are discussing delivery project management. If you have sufficient overlap, sufficient communication, good communication skills, good collaboration, this also basically kind of guarantees that basically all the teams will be performing. It's also about the right expertise, quickly ramping down the teams, because you can also lose a lot of time there. So there are many factors really that are contributing to lower cost of ownership, but one of those for sure is productivity and other high quality of deliverables.
Thank you, Luvo. And the second question, are you going to engage Thailand or Canada if my organization is located in Europe and the project does not require 24/7 support?
Let me take this one. It's a favorite topic of mine. So how do you choose where you provide services for? So it's really driven by the requirements for our clients, whether it's going to be 24/7, it's going to be 12/7, or it's going to be 8/5 support. It really is based on the requirements and the criticality of the production systems developed for our clients. We have all those options available for you, and we have the capability to deliver on that requirements in a very agile manner. In terms of location of sourcing, it's again based on the skill set required, starting dates, capabilities in our different delivery centers. What we try to do always is have this backfilling mechanism that we have the capability to deliver from each of our delivery centers. And that would be, in many cases, a black box for our clients, where we actually have the capability to deliver from any center. And again, we do not call it offshore, we don't call it nearshore, we call it remote work. And in terms of overlaps, again, our delivery centers are flexible to meet the hours of overlap requested by our clients, regardless of the location where our people are based. So this global delivery model allows us to be very flexible and be as flexible as our clients ask us to be.
Thank you very much. We actually have two similar questions. What are the working hours of the Thailand team, and how do you manage the overlap with end clients?
So as I mentioned, the office hours of Thailand are in many cases irrelevant. So we operate in a model where we have what makes sense model, and the legislation of Thailand allows us to be flexible in this regard. So pretty much we are looking for some compromise in any case in order to ensure the necessary overlap. So as I mentioned, we are performing on more than 15 projects based in North America right now, where the natural overlap is not present. However, our office of hours of operation in Thailand are flexible in order to meet this demand and ensure overlap even with clients based in North America. In Europe, that's pretty much non-existent, as overlap is natural, but again, we're flexible to meet whatever makes sense. But in cooperation with our offices in Europe and in Asia, we are capable to meet pretty much any time zone requirement. We are delivering services right now for Australia. We are delivering services for Germany. We are delivering services for the West Coast of North America. So pretty much really time zones do not matter anymore. Remote delivery is here and we are on top of it.
Thank you. That makes sense. Next question. How do you manage GDPR compliance across your delivery offices?
Let me answer that question. It's again a great question. So I understand the question from two different viewpoints. First of all, when we're, of course, for European Union, GDPR is a standard. And we have contracts with all our sister offices in Europe, but also with our customers covering the GDPR regulation. North America, especially Canada, they have also similar regulations, and they're also basically working on introduction of something similar as GDPR. So we have a similar contracts with them too. This is from one perspective, and basically working with our customers and guaranteeing that basically their data is safe. And then in terms of our delivery locations, of course, Bulgaria is subject to GDPR compliance and regulation. Thailand, they're introducing now a very similar also regulation to GDPR called Personal Data Protection Act. So we are covered also from that side too. I hope I answered that question.
Thank you. And is there any particular specialization across offices, or how do you decide where to staff projects from?
So I partially replied this question. There is no specific specialization between the offices. Our delivery is very flexible. We have clients calling us all the time. So basically based on capacity that we have in any particular office, number one. Number two, any specific requirements, we decide which are the best teams to perform on a project. So it's a very complex decision that we have semi-automated on our side, utilizing some algorithms in order to facilitate the decision of whether a certain project should be staffed from one location or the other. In many cases, and this is a standard, we are staffing from both locations in order to have the benefits that I mentioned earlier. Pretty much development around 24-hour clock. So we do no longer want to develop 8 hours here, 8 hours there. We want to ensure that the cycle is moving as quickly as possible. We call this follow the sun strategy, where we actually start the development often in Thailand, and then we continue in Europe, and then we finish in North America. So we cover the full spectrum of technologies in both our locations, delivery locations, and then number one. And number two, we try to optimize the staffing process so that our projects are structured well based from skill set perspective, as well as many other factors required by our clients.
Thank you both for your presentation and for the questions. It is now time for our next session. So thank you very much, Lubo and Nick. Nowadays, especially with COVID-19,
thank you everyone.
It is indeed crucial that work is done well without compromising the quality. So yeah, I found it very useful myself.
Thank you very much on my side as well, and looking forward for connecting with each of you after the meetings as well. Thank you.